In this lesson, we're going to add and subtract fractions with a common denominator. So to add or subtract fractions with like denominators, we're going to add or subtract the numbers and then write the sum over the denominator. We're going to need a common denominator before adding or subtracting. So let's take a look. It says find the sum or difference and then write each in simplest form. So I'm going to have 11 all over 12 plus 9 all over 12. And now remember, when you're adding or subtracting fractions, you need to have that common denominator, meaning that they need to be the same. So since I have a denominator that is the same, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add 11 plus 9 and I'll get 20, and that will be all over 12. And now we don't want to leave it like this. So I'm going to take 12 and divide that into 20. We don't want to leave it as the improper fraction here. And it goes in there one time with the remainder of 8 all over 12. Now I'm able to still simplify this one further by taking and dividing 4 on the top and dividing 4 on the bottom. So I'm going to have 1 and 2/3 will be my answer. For our next one, we have 13/15 plus 9/15. And we're checking to see if we have a common denominator, and we do. So now we're just going to add across. I'll take 13 plus 9 and I'll get 22. And let's then take this and turn it into the mixed fraction. So 15 goes into 22 one time, and then I'll have a remainder of 7 all over 15. And that can't be simplified any further, so that's going to be my answer, 1 7/15. For our next one, we're going to be subtracting, and I'll have 8 all over 9 minus 4 all over 9. And again, we have a common denominator, so we're just going to subtract, and our denominator is going to be 9. So 8 minus 4 is 4, and that can't be simplified any further, so our answer is going to be 4/9. And for our next one, I've got 2/5 minus 4/5. Now, we need to remember our integer rules. And if I have 2 minus 4, it's like 2 plus a negative 4. So I'm going to end up with a negative answer, and that's going to give me a negative 2 all over 5 for my answer. So now we're going to add and subtract mixed fractions with common denominators. What I like to do is I like to line them up so that I have the ones or the whole numbers lined up with the fraction. All right, and since I have a common denominator, I can go ahead and I can add. My denominator is going to be 9. And I'll take 4 plus 2, and I'm going to get 6. And 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. And now go ahead and take a look. Can I simplify anything? And 3 can go into 6, 3 can go into 9, leaving me with 3 and 2 all over 3. So for our next one, well, let's pay attention to, I've got 2 negatives here. Those are going to make a positive. So when I set this up, I'm going to take 4 and 11 all over 12 plus 3 and 7 all over 12. All right, so now let's go ahead and add, and I'll take 11 plus 7, and I'm going to get 18 all over 12, and then I'll add my 4 and my 3, and I'll get 7. Now I'm not going to want to leave it like this because this is an improper fraction. So I'm going to take this part right here, and I'm going to take 18 divided by 12, and I get 1. And so I'm going to carry that 1 over there with my whole number, giving me an 8. And then my remainder then is going to be 6 all over 12. Oh, there we go. And now that can be simplified even further. And I'm going to have 8 and 1/2 for my answer. All right, for our last one then, let's take our 3 and 7/8, and I'm going to subtract 2 and 5/8. So now let's take a look. I've got 7 minus 5. It's going to give me a 2 all over 8, and then 3 minus 2 is going to give me a 1. So again, I can simplify this one, and I'm going to have 1 and 1/4. So in this lesson, we took a look at how to add and subtract fractions and mixed fractions with common denominators.